I'd like to call the Grosehill Downtown Development Authority meeting to order. The first item is the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Jacobson, would you like to lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Our next item is roll call. Mr. Moran is here. Supervisor Porcelli?
Here.
Mr. Anderson?
Here.
Ms. Armiak?
Here.
Ms. Pusek is excused. Mr. Ranley is excused. Ms. Stanko?
Here.
Ms. Karn is excused, and Mr. Jacobson.
Here.
The next item is the approval of the agenda. Is there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
Mr. Chair, if I may add a discussion item for the Project for Public Spaces grant.
Is there any other additions or deletions? And if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as it was amended.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Anderson.
I'll second.
Supported by Mr. Jacobson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next item is the presentations. No presentations tonight, so we'll move on to the approval of the minutes of the December 18th, 2024 meeting. Motion by Ms. Armiak,
Second.
or
Second.
by Supervisor Porcelli. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Our next item is our financial update, the approval of the December 2024 financial report. That was included in our agenda packet, so hopefully everybody's had a chance to look through that. Ross, anything unusual that you'd like to point out?
Nope, just bills and maintenance payments for landscaping.
Entertain a motion? Motion by Mr. Anderson.
I'll support.
Supported by Mr. Jacobson to approve the December 2024 financial report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next item is our action item, and that is to approve the event dates for 2025. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to look at that. Kind of outlines our dates.
Yeah.
And we have
Lot of
the
stuff.
Farmers Market on Macomb every Saturday from 8:30 to 12:30, May 17th through September 27th. We have Island Fest on Saturday, May 31st at 10 a.m. Concerts on the Commons every Sunday from 7 to 8 p.m., June 29th through August 31st. We have Paint the Town Red on Friday, September 26th. The Halloween Parade on Friday, September 25th. Ladies' Night Out is on Friday.
Halloween parade's usually on Saturday, right?
Yep. Sorry, Mr. Chair. I attached a updated event
Oh,
date.
I wondered what the difference.
I just
So
didn't
it's
put it's October 25th. My apologies.
October 25th, and it's a Saturday?
It is a Saturday.
Okay. So our Halloween Parade is Saturday, October 25th. Ladies' Night Out is Friday, November 7th, and Island Glow is Friday, December 5th. With that, I'll entertain a motion. Motion by Ms. Armiak,
I'll second.
or by Ms. Stanko. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Our next item is our discussion items. Discussion item number 1 is the social district logos/meeting on Macomb for April.
Right. Good evening, everyone. So I've got two versions here for you. Our graphic designer kind of went, took our considerations from last month and then said, well, I want to go a different route just in case. So I think this is a good idea, but then she also provided another rendering. She thought that let me see if I can zoom out here so I can show everything. So this is sort of a like a stamp. So when you pick up cups from locations that are participating businesses and bars and restaurants, it'll have like a social district stamped, kind of like a postage stamp. Or we could have tickets on there on the cups. It's sort of I'm not necessarily in favor of this because it wasn't exactly what we asked for. This wasn't, but this is sort of her idea. The ticket style logo around town and the participating businesses would have their name on the side, sort of like this. Galindo's, if they were to have a liquor license, this could be an option on the cup. And then we could use this sort of bottom logo here as our branding elements on signs around town to let people know where the district boundaries are. But this is sort of what we were asking for. This is sort of what we were looking for according to last meeting. We got the G a little bit more defined as it was prior to logos that were presented. And then she also had ideas for implementing images along Macomb Street images within the letters themselves. So just thinking about general direction here. This isn't final approval by any means. Just talking about general direction here. Do we like this idea of the postage stamp where, visit businesses and you get stamped? I got my Galindo's stamp on my cup, or yeah, I'm trying to convey the messaging behind what she was intending here, and it's a little
where
difficult.
they got the cup?
I'm sorry?
We need to know where they got the cup?
Yeah,
Or is it just
so
gonna be a
so each business will have their own cup. So it'll be like Lloyd's social district cup. That's because you can't take a cup from Lloyd's and walk into, Sully's. You'd have to dispose of that cup before you go into Sully's, get a Sully's cup. You can walk around with that cup, but then, yeah. Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So it will be up to the businesses to provide their own cup
So
or,
my understanding is that the DDA would provide the cups for them. I mean, it's like how much are plastic cups, right? It's pennies on the dollar, but like, and then depending on the success rate of it, if it's like, hey, we can't like support all these cups for you guys, you're gonna have to order your own. Eventually, I mean, from what I understand, other DDAs they say it's on the onus of the business to have their own cups and they have to use this logo. But up front, once we start the social district, that would be a cost that the DDA would have to up front.
so the cup will it'll say social district on it, but then each business is going to have to put their own name on the cup? Or would we
He
do
would
that?
provide, so like,
do
we
that.
would order 500 cups for Lloyd's, and it would be like, in this stamp scenario, Macomb Social District, Lloyd's. Or,
Okay.
Or with this, it would be like GI Social District, and then under it would be like Lloyd's underneath here or something. So I guess what I'm asking from the board tonight is generally, do we like the idea of the stamped route or like the ticketed route where it's like, hey, I got my Galindo's ticket cup, like I'm good to go here, or do we like the sort of artsy vibe of the second one?
Like the first page better.
Yeah.
You do?
Yep. Yep.
Cool.
With the ticket, like, it looks like it's a ticket, right? So is it a stamp that looks like a ticket, or is it literally a ticket or a sticker?
No, so that ticket would be on the cup.
Okay,
Just on the
That
cup.
would be
Yep,
like this.
yep.
got it.
So,
Okay.
but like the social district logo itself, like because we have to have signage up at each boundary, so it would be either one of these two logos that would be on it. Gotcha.
I like the
Looks like
top
a
one.
record.
Okay. All right. And what I can do by next month is have her like, hey, put these logos all on signs, and so like what she did here was, for the rules of engagement. So at each location, at each participating business, you have to have the rules of engagement posted somewhere. So it'll have that Macomb Street Social District logo on it. So, whatever logo we choose, either the first or the second, that will be kind of everywhere. And then, these tickets will be on the cups.
So it'll be, the social district sign or logo will be on one side of the cup, and this would be on the other side of the cup?
Right.
The back side? Or,
Yep.
Okay.
I'll have her kind of do a better job of, putting on like real scenarios, like on signs, but,
You need us to pick one of the ones on the right-hand side then, of the tickets, or no?
No, I think that, these are pretty similar. I mean, if you guys would like to, I think that would be helpful.
Anyone have an opinion about,
Would you replace the lighthouses with the names like Galindo's is, or?
Correct. Okay.
anybody else have an opinion?
Yeah, I'm fine with the top one.
Okay.
I'm okay with the top.
Partial, they're all pleasant.
Yeah,
Cool.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, and these are using our initial kind of brand colors when we first started, our logos back in, a couple years ago. So I think it's more consistent with our already like going theme and our ongoing brand, where this is more, it's like a complete alternative. So we'll just be kind of going, continuing on the same route. So, all right, I'll be sure to let her know. And then we are looking to set up a meeting on Macomb Street for April. I'm going to reach out to Barry at the VFW for dates that work for him to see if we can get our fourth Thursday date. We are kind of workshopping. At least I was talking amongst a few folks in my department about where would be a good place. We thought the East Side Cafe, but they don't have a TV to do a presentation. We were thinking possibly Perdino's. Kind of. They do, yeah. It's kind of just, I'm wondering how many people we would anticipate having. Because I think they can fit probably like 30, right? I think we'd probably get around 30, but who knows?
What is the most we've had in the past, Ross? Do you remember?
I feel like the most that we had, it was our merchant meeting back in 2023, and that was like 35 to 40 maybe? Yeah. So I can reach out to Barry, I can reach out to other folks, and I'll let you guys know exactly the date and time for at next month's meeting. So
Okay, sounds good. Our next discussion item is the ice rink on Macomb.
yes, so Trustee Yeager and the director at the Recreation Department reached out to me. They had asked if we would be interested in kind of receiving their donation of the ice rink boards that they will be taking down at the Recreation Department at Water's Edge. It's whether or not we think that's a good idea, and having an ice rink somewhere on Macomb Street at a property that we control. That would most likely be Lions Park, right? I think that the concept is great, but as far as hiring the maintenance and takedown and all that sort of stuff might be a little complicated, but I kind of wanted to bring that up to your guys' attention to see what you all think.
So they're eliminating the one at the rec center?
Yep, so I think after this year, they're going to be looking at adding some pickleball courts over there because the existing ice rink, when it was constructed, there was no cooling mechanisms in there. It's just
Right.
concrete and, so it's kind of a headache for them, so, but.
If I just may add one thing to this. Zaid and I met, and there were some issues with that ice rink of maintenance, keeping it going, usage. So when we talked about that, I thought when he brought this up, it would be really an excellent idea if we could have an ice rink at the park, obviously a smaller version of it, I wasn't, and I gotta tell you, Ross, I wasn't exactly sure if this was, how much of those boards, if you can make it a smaller, do you know what I'm trying to say? But Zaid also said he had plans for that space where it's at right now at Water's Edge. So I thought, what an excellent idea if we can keep an ice rink, and now you have more space, because he does want to put different courts for the summer, and then I forgot what else. He said something else that would be dual, possibly even in the winter, but not an ice rink. So I just thought that would really be an excellent idea if we could get something going in this park. Again, I'm not sure about the size, can't be the size it is right now, but there could be a smaller version at a park and still have the space at Water's Edge to change what Zaid wants to change. I think it'd be great if we can swing it, and if we can help, if we can get the rec to help. Obviously, we have volunteers, and that was another issue with the ice rink. But we do have volunteers that will help assemble it, remove it, just taking care of it too, we'll see. But if we can swing it, I think it'd be great.
Would it not be the right location in that piece of property across from Lions Park if they end up purchasing that?
I mean, it could. Yeah, absolutely could. I mean, you're right. I'm not sure the size of the footprint of the playscape we want to put in to the size of the lot, if you will. So how big is that footprint, and can anything be added? That's a great idea to look at. But I just think with the two, you have a park, you have the playscape, and you have an ice rink somehow in the winter that could bring the people out to use it. And not like it's a mini, Campus Marsh, but it's a nice idea to have a small ice rink for the kids, and I think it would be used. I really do if it's on Macomb.
I mean, later on tonight, we're going to look at sort of what the overall master plan is for Lions Park, and if we build it out the way we're planning it, I don't think
No room.
ice rinkles. Yeah, I just don't think it'll fit there. And from my perspective, I would not want to get into the position of having to, spend our money to maintain that. I mean, if the rec department was just looking for a location, and we could help them out with a location, and then they were going to put up the boards, take it down, keep it frozen and manage
That was
it.
kind of the idea, wasn't it? Where they would help out. I mean, that was part of the idea, but you make a good point, Ron. About the size of it and about the...
Yeah, no, I mean, when I was
Help
talking
to
with
do
Zaid, he was my impression was like, hey, do you want these boards, and you guys can set up a rink on Macomb. That was kind of...
Yeah, just, here it
Yeah.
is. It's
But-
for you guys to take.
But if they were willing to set up, tear down, do all of that, then yeah, I'm sure.
I think it's worth talking about.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Maybe
require
have
a
a
concrete
further
base then?
conversation with them, Ross,
Yeah.
and find out what the proposal is.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I've talked to them quite a bit about it, and it was sort of, do you want these boards?
I guess if you could do like a basketball court that then can be converted to the ice rink in the winter or something like that, so it had use year round.
Yeah,
Right.
dual use.
Yeah. But
Okay, we'll just have some further discussion and let us know how that goes.
definitely.
Okay, we'll move on to our next item. Discussion item number 3 is the potted plants on Macomb.
Yep, just want to let you guys know that the ladies that organize or have been organizing the potted plants in Macomb are kind of done. They've reached an age where they just kind of, they don't want to deal with it anymore. So Marie and I have been working on finding someone to do the same service that we've been getting the past however many years at a comparable price. We found 2 people. Whether or not we have to go out for bid for that, I have to talk with Derek, but I think that we are using we are one of the 2 folks that we're reaching out to. It's the same people that they were getting the flowers from, so we're just hoping that we could just kind of like extend a contract or extend the current professional services agreement if we have one, which I haven't seen on file, so that we can just continue it on, because my understanding is you need to start planting these flowers right now in order to have plants available for you in the spring and summer. So
These are the hanging baskets on the
yeah,
walls? Okay.
yeah. So we're oh, go ahead.
Have you reached out to, like, City of Trenton or Wyandotte to find out who they use?
Yep. So we are meeting with that individual on Monday. My understanding is that the price is significantly higher, but we haven't gotten that estimate yet. So we're going to reach out to him. We're going to be meeting with him on Monday, and he'll be providing us that price. So
Is it the same for Trent and Wyandotte?
yes, to my understanding. Yep.
They both do a nice job.
Yeah, fantastic. And so the flower people that we've been using have been bought out by another company, so they kind of have higher production. They have more different types of flowers available. So, but it sounds like they would be more in our price range that we've been using before. So it's sort of just finding what works for the board. So
They would do like the watering and everything.
that's the other issue.
I think that's where ours.
Yeah,
Fall
that's where
down
we
sometimes.
struggle.
Yeah. They have, so the company that does the plants for Trenton and Wyandotte, supposedly there's like a self-watering system that they can add in there, but it's only good for once a month. But other than that, we would have to still find high school kids to do the watering. So I think we just got a couple interns, right? Didn't the township just get some interns? Have them?
It's a perfect job for them.
Really? No, okay. Yeah, no, we always have, we try to get at least one, so they probably have both of them coming in soon,
Yeah, maybe we just
after the first of the year.
get them out there in the summertime once the weather breaks and get them. No.
Okay.
So I just want to let you guys know that that's coming up. And I mean, there's a chance if we do, according to our policies and procedures, if we do have to get this out to bid, it's going to be a pretty short turnaround, just so that we can meet. Because we just got a call from the garden club like a month ago. So it's been putting this in the work. So hopefully, I'm being hopeful that we will still have flower pots on Macomb this for 2025, but there might be a chance that we might not. So just want to.
Well, Ross, if you have to go out for bid, you can just do that, right? I mean,
Right.
you don't need
We don't need
us to-
approval, yeah.
I mean, just go ahead and do it if that's what the decision is.
Right. Okay.
Get it started.
Gotcha. We'll do.
Anything else for Ross on the potted plants on Macomb? If not, we'll move on to the next item, which is the DDA event sponsorship program.
Yeah, so I actually got this idea from meeting with Trenton's DDA director. We had a discussion around events and how event programming is just overall difficult to do, no matter what community you're in. And we've kind of shortened our events a little bit. We're not doing Island Nights this year. So I felt that, since we're cutting back on events, this would be a great opportunity to provide funding for any individuals that have a great idea for an event. So basically what this program is, somebody wants to do an event on Macomb Street, and if it creates traffic for businesses and it groups in, we get the business community involved in some way. They come, they apply for this grant or for this program. They do a presentation in front of the board, and then you all either approve or deny to fund a portion of that event, up to $1,000 I put on there for right now. There is a process to it. It's not just, handing out $1,000 to whoever wants it. It's very similar to our facade grant improvement program, where they have to provide, it's a reimbursement-based program where they have to provide receipts and invoices. And once the event is done, then they receive the money back. So I thought this was a great alternative instead of trying to workshop and, put a lot of planning into events that sometimes are successful, but sometimes might not be successful, and just kind of putting it in the hands of the businesses and the community to plan things out. So
Might as well try it and see what happens. Yeah.
What types of events are you hoping to occur then?
yeah, I mean, anything that encourages more people on the street, right, and gets businesses together, where a couple years ago, we had somebody say, "Hey, I think that a street festival would be great on Macomb Street," and we had no process in place. We didn't have like an application process. We didn't have any sort of process in place to present ideas to the board and have you all approve or deny things. So I think anything that contributes to promoting Macomb Street and our businesses, I think that's what we're looking for. So
Ross, if one of the businesses wanted to have a barbecue in their parking lot and they were going to hire a band to play during the barbecue, is that something what you would have in mind, that they could use this sponsorship money to pay for the band? Or
yeah, that's ultimately
That's confusing though, because line 3 says it shall not be beneficial to a private individual or business.
correct. Yeah.
So if you're giving $1,000 to MBA to have that barbecue and a band, it does benefit us.
right.
So where's that line?
Yeah, that's up for you all to decide, right? That's where you say, we think that you're utilizing this to benefit your own personal business, not to benefit, a community-oriented event,
I
right?
guess it's got, we have to say, does it benefit all the businesses or
Right.
more than
Right.
just one business? I
It's
guess?
more so to promote Macomb Street, promote the business, like all businesses on Macomb Street, or a section of Macomb Street, let's say. It can't be like, Jerry, we're having a 30% off sale, and we're having a cookout, so come on down to the hardware store to get 30% off Yeti cups or what have you. It would be, we're having an Arts Beats and Eats sort of event, and everyone come to Lions Park for this event, and they would kind of present something to you guys on that.
Doesn't that cut out, though, in reading this, wouldn't it cut out, as you were stating, though, Susie, that, to have Jerry have something down there, it is for his, how does Jerry have something that benefits everybody?
That was kind of my
You know what I'm
point.
trying to say? I don't
Yeah.
mean to throw a
yeah, and I
monkey
think
wrench in
that's what we're
How-
realizing, that
How
it
do
couldn't
you
benefit just a business.
Can you scale it down? This is up to you guys. You make the decisions.
Or you do some kind of event where maybe a couple businesses get together and say, hey, all the restaurants get together and we're going to do an event this weekend, and
That would be
they all come in and ask for $1,000 towards the different,
Yeah.
their piece of the event or something like that.
That's clear.
Yeah, that's like that's the intent, right? It's the intent's to kind of do the things that we've been, like ladies' night out, like something like that. Or if it doesn't even have to be a business that applies for this. It could be anyone that thinks, like having a half marathon that runs through Macomb Street, right? And this is like someone who lives off the island, but it does benefit Macomb Street because folks are, all up and down Macomb Street, taking pictures, potentially frequenting businesses, things that benefit the street as a whole. So
One question, though, my follow-up to what I guess was my first comment was, who is the judge? Like, who do you go to see, I want to do something, and Jerry wants to do something, Susie wants to do something, but it's all separate. Who's the judge, the board, or the committee?
Yeah.
They would come to you and
board.
say,
Yeah.
we just don't think this is, we like to vote, so you'd have to vote on that
Yeah.
because it's grant-oriented.
correct. Yep.
And you guys would just decide at that time, well, we just don't think it's for the whole.
Right. That's exactly how it would go.
Okay.
I would process the application and schedule it for our next
The next meeting.
and then they would come present on it. It's exactly like our facade grant improvement program, where and then like if some things don't make sense, you could say, well, we'll fund this but not that. This grant is intended for this, not that. If you'd like me to define that a little bit more, because it's a pretty short, it's just a 2-pager, right? So I can, refine it a little bit.
Yeah, I think some refining would help considerable, because you don't want someone to think that you have favoritism towards someone either.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments on the event sponsorship program? Hearing none, we'll move on to discussion item number 5, which is the project for public spaces grant. Ross?
Yep, just want to let you guys know that I found this grant opportunity. It's sponsored by GM. It's for $100,000 for a public space. Just another opportunity I'm shooting for Lions Park. There is no match requirements whatsoever, so this doesn't need formal approval from you guys or the township board. So I'll be sending in that application on the 31st. So I just wanted to give you guys this packet for you guys to look through, and if you see anything that you want to bring to my attention, just wanted to put that out there. So
We appreciate that you continue to look for grants for us, so keep up, keep looking for them, so. we
I
appreciate
thought he said playscape, though. I wasn't sure what he said, though.
placemaking.
I'm sorry. Yeah, my mistake. It's my hearing.
Okay, we will move on to the DDA Director's Report. First item is the DDA 2024 Year in Review. Russ?
Chair, I'll try to keep this quick. All right, just kind of wanted to, new year, just want to give a, kind of a synopsis of, or summary of everything that we've done the past year. Some highlights, we invested $166,000 into physical improvements to Macomb Street. This is maintenance, improvements to Lions Park and the DDA parking lot, beautification initiatives, and Art on the Aisle programming. We improved vacancy rates too. 2 of the 3 redevelopment sites are seeing new investments. 2 additional new businesses coming to long-term vacant properties. We've also increased grant activity, where we were approved for $54,000 in total. And we also provided almost $20,000 to Macomb Street businesses for physical improvements to their buildings. So this is just a breakdown of the physical improvements: $56,000 in maintenance, $75,000 to capital improvements, Art on the Aisle, professional services. So these are the right-hand side is our non-physical improvements. So professional services for the attorney, engineers, marketing and event branding, as well as events for the coordinator, which is the rec department, event materials and promotion, and then our DDA grant for $18,000. Sort of a breakdown. The majority of our funds have been spent on capital improvements. Of the total $224,000 spent, $74,000 went into physical improvements. And the DDA spent $15,000 less than we did in 2023. We've also seen a lot of private improvements. We've seen $1.6 million in private investments. The majority of these were facade improvements to the Groseal Car Wash, Nate's, and the Meridian Strip Mall. We're also improving vacancy rates on Macomb Street. 2 long-term vacant properties have sold for redevelopment, and that's Vitale's and Nate's. 2 long-term vacant buildings have new businesses coming in 2025. That's the Literary Hideaway at the old Ohana House site, and then Carmela's at that bank building as well, which will be a what's that?
Ice cream.
Yeah, ice cream. Thank you. And then third, we welcome 3 new businesses this year: Katie Maldonado Insurance, the East End Cafe, and then Edward Jones, a financial institution. And these are the grants that we received through the Michigan Arts and Culture Council, MISHDA, which will be going towards zoning updates, and the DDA TIF plan. And then we did receive that tree grant from DTE for $4,000 for landscaping. These are some of the improvements that our grant went to contribute to. Preferred Insurance Agency for their facade improvements, the car wash, East End Cafe, and then the strip mall on Meridian. So some objectives for 2025 is to update Macomb Street District zoning standards, which we had talked about at our last meeting. Redevelopment, partnering with property owners at redevelopment sites to make sure that we get development that benefits the DDA and Macomb Street and therefore the community. Continue to develop Lions Park. We'll update our TIF plan and adopt a streetscape maintenance plan or streetscape plan, which there are grants that I'll be pursuing here shortly. They'll be coming to you guys here soon. Macomb Street Playground, partner with the Recreation Department to acquire that site and find and collaborate on grant opportunities with them as well. And then lastly, refine and enhance our events for the year. And that's all I have.
Nice.
Ross, I'd like you to add one other objective, and that is to continue the Art on the Aisle program.
Yes, of course.
You could do that. I'd appreciate it. A lot going on in the last year on Macomb Street, so I know Ross has worked hard to make a lot of those things happen, so thank you for your efforts, Ross. And I think with every improvement that's made, whether we do it or existing business or new business does it, it helps create more activity and just gets some momentum going on the street. So I think everything that any activity that we can help bring to the street is an improvement and helps spur other development and other improvements. So I think we're heading in the right direction.
Yep. Yeah, I think the huge thing is seeing that 1.6 million in investment, like private investment. Like people are investing in rehabbing their buildings and seeing those vacant properties get filled. It's great to see. So hopefully we continue this momentum. And keep on collaborating.
And I think we need to continue to invest in the street as well. So I think it shows the business community that we're interested in improving things along the street too. So the more we can get grant funding and the more we can do to improve things on the street, I think it helps everybody. So, any questions for Ross? Hearing none, we'll move on to the next DDA item on the director's report is DTE Tree Grant Award.
Yeah, kind of cover that. We got that award of $4,000. So it's another thing to tack on for Lions Park. So we're getting small wins here. Hopefully we get the big win coming up soon. So. If there's nothing else under the director's report, the chairman's report, just a couple things I'd like to mention, and that is that Ross and I have been working with Rain's company over the last, month or so, trying to sort of tweak the master plan for the Lions Park, and that's coming along quite well, I think. And if we can ever get the funding to do all the things we want to do at that park, I think once it gets finished, it'll really be an asset for Macomb Street. So thanks to Rains and to Ross for moving that along. So and then the other thing I wanted to mention is that the DDA current plan is scheduled to end in 2032, and so we need to start thinking soon, like this year, that about extending the life of the DDA. It started back, I think, in '93. So if we want to continue it, and one of the things that we're running against is if we want to borrow money, we only have the ability to pay back any funding that we would borrow for till 2032. So we only have 7 years left, and that sort of is a issue because we might not be able to borrow the amount of money that we want because we don't have that long of a payback period. So it restricts us by how much money we can borrow. And that process doesn't happen overnight. It's, it could take 6, 8, 10 months from the time you put your plan together, and you have to have public hearings and notices and that whole time frame. It takes quite a while to do that. So even if we started now, it'll probably take through the end of this year in order to get that approved and continue the DDA. So
that's something that Ross and I have talked about, and I know have we gotten a proposal from the Smith Group, or where do we stand with that, Ross?
Yep. No. So I was kind of waiting on getting the township master plan completed before going through a whole cycle of long-term planning for the TIF, for the DD8 TIF plan.
And when do you think that'll be over, the master plan?
Well, we are meeting
know
in
that's-
February now. We were going to be pushing it back to late March, but we are going to be meeting in February. I'm hoping that we get that adopted in March. But I can start drafting up some RFQ proposals for the DDA plan.
I think the other thing, if you can do this, and maybe just talking to some, maybe other communities or somebody that knows the schedule, if somebody could give us a schedule as to how long it takes from the time you start till the time you get final approval, that'll kind of give us an idea as to, somebody might say it's going to take 8 months, so at least we know when, from the time we start till the time we could get it approved, it'll be an 8-month period of time. So if you could get some kind of a rough schedule as to what it takes.
Will do.
Okay. One other thing, and Ross and I talked about this a little bit, is way back when we named Lions Park because it was on Lion Street, but it was never intended to be the I'll call it the final name of that park. So as we finish and continue to make improvements there, I think we should talk about renaming that park to something different. And I know in the past we've had some discussions on this board that we would go out for a competition and let anyone in the on the island submit a name, and we would, maybe give them a $200 or $300 gift certificate to spend on Macomb Street, whoever we choose, whoever's the winner on that. So I think that's something that we should start looking at in the next couple months about starting that contest and renaming that park. So.
Yeah, it's just a matter of if we want to do that when it's completed or when we, get the next phase done. It's just sort of up to the board when we would like to do that, and that I can get that ball rolling.
That's the end of my report. So next item is public comment. We have no one in the audience tonight, so I'll open it up to any board members. Does anyone have any open business or anything they'd like to bring up to the board?
Ross has requested me to give some information on the bridge.
Oh,
Whenever you,
sure.
I'll let you guys go first, though.
Nope.
You're all set? Okay.
Yep.
I just want to let the people know, tomorrow morning, we're going to solidify the date, but it looks like Wednesday, I believe it's the 5th of February. We're going to have a meeting right here in the boardroom, and what we're going to do is for all businesses on Grosse Ile, we have set up a plan, Derek and I, on how to get the overweight trucks and the basic trucks under a certain weight, and I'll talk about it tomorrow. That's pretty easy because you can just come and go. The overweight trucks, we have a plan. We put it together, and we're going to have a meeting, and I'll request any business owner. I'm going to get the email list from Ross of all the businesses he has, because I'm not sure what deliveries each business may have, and here at the airport. So the bottom line is, on that Wednesday night, we're going to go over our plan. We're going to help everybody out we can, obviously. We're going to make this work and work for the people so things don't get slowed down. Once again, as I stated in the last post that I put out, they did raise it to 8 weeks, the county, instead of 4 weeks. That's the construction time. That means now we got to deal with the trucks for 8 weeks as opposed to 4 weeks. We still can do it. We can do our trash. We can do our sewer treatment, which would be counted, if you will, an overweight truck. I will say, and this, I don't want to hide this from anybody, and there's a question. It is our weight limit. Obviously, we've already said it is going to be a little bit higher than the weight limit that the owner has. Now, the owner can do whatever he wants with his bridge at any time. He could say 10 pounds on bicycles only. He can do that. So, but what we had our professionals do, and they're engineers, and it's going to be safe, to what limit we believe we can bring trucks over and how to bring an overweight truck over. It's going to be separate. It's going to be a little bit of a inconvenience, if you will, but Grozeal has to run. We have to get trucks to Kroger's. We have to get trucks to the hardware. We got to get trucks to Joe's business. We got to get trucks to Mobile. We got to get gasoline out here. We have to get diesel fuel, jet fuel, whoever uses what the schools. We just met with the schools today. We've got to get their trucks for their construction. Their logistics is totally separate. We're going to do it. Now, are we going to be in for a headache? It's going to be more time. Is the bridge going to be backed up a little bit? Maybe at times. That's what this meeting's about, that we're going to show you how we're going to do it, our time schedule, and we'll go from there. How will it affect Macomb Street? Hopefully not too much. That's all I'm going to say, because the businesses on Macomb, we're going to get you. And Jerry and I have already met, but we're going to go further into it. And we're also asking the businesses to go to their vendors. We need to know weight limits. We need to know things like that. But as it pertains to the rest of Grozeal, we're going to get it done. We're going to get it done. Again, I mean, I'm not going to hide it from you. It's going to be a headache. But we'll get it done. It'll work. And that meeting will be 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'm fairly certain it'll be 7 o'clock on the 5th, Wednesday of February. And it is open to everybody. It's not just for the business people, but we are going to have another meeting for the residents, and we're going to be pushing out information for residents. If you just have a car, a truck, even a trailer, it's going to go over. It's easy. It's not a big deal. It's all the other issues, like Jerry's business and like anybody else's business. So anyway, Ross wanted me to speak on that. He's been getting a lot of questions in his office regarding it. So that's where we're at, sir.
Appreciate the update. Thank you. Any other open business? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Motion by Ms. Armiak, supported by Mr. Jacobson to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Thanks, everyone.